Let's call this Wednesday, May 27th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting to order at 6 p.m. And we'll do the roll call, please.
Dennis Ferraro, Eagle Smith Road.
Bethany Cody, like Enchanted.
Jim Johnson, White Oak Drive.
Linda Winslow, Norwood Street.
Eric Powers, Staff Planner.
Jason McCarthy, Planning and Zoning Administrator.
Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
I'll support.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes from the previous meeting of May 13th, 2026.
Move to approve the minutes from May 13th, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving to public comment right now. Anyone wanting to make public comment can come forward or wait to the public hearing if you'd rather do that on anything. Okay. Seeing none, we'll,
Before we move on, I'd like to introduce the Planning Commission to Kyle Hewson. He is our new zoning technician that we hired, so
oh, okay.
he'll be joining us part-time as our zoning technician, and he'll be assisting us with property maintenance and blight and related zoning enforcement, which helps us be more responsive to addressing neighborhood concerns, which we've already been impacting this year, which feels good. But
Has he started yet?
he has, yeah,
This
first week.
Okay.
Yeah, his background is in construction, project coordination, drafting, field documentation, customer service, and inspection-related work, all of which translate well for us. And we're pleased to have him on board, so if you have any
Great.
questions
Welcome.
or see him around, say hi.
Okay.
Hi.
Just not at my house.
Yeah.
They told me about you.
Thanks.
Got a sense of humor too, that's good.
And thanks, Kyle. Appreciate you
Yeah,
coming. You're
yeah.
welcome to stay if you want, but it's nice out, so understand.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay. You want to move on to the public hearing then? Is that it? All right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
6A, public hearing on the proposed Marquette Township Master Plan 2026 to 2030 update. Jason?
Yes, well,
I mean,
here it is.
am I going to open the public hearing here, or I haven't done one of these before?
Not yet. We can do a little bit of background prior to opening up for comment and fulfilling the state requirements. But
All right.
this is it, 248 pages, I think it is, so it grew in size, but it also grew in the amount of, I guess, comprehension that's in here as well. Kind of hearkening back to some of the earlier, more comprehensive plans versus a master plan. And of course, we've been doing this for a couple years now. We've fulfilled all of our requirements as far as conducting public hearings, having public input. We've received a lot of public input. You know, the document's been pretty much massaged and almost complete for about 2 months, and then we've had the 63-day review period, which is required by the Michigan Planning Act. So there was some minor changes. Supervisor Durant provided a lot of thoughtful comments. We had comments from the County Planning Commission, which were helpful. We had comments from a couple members of the public that have been documented. So I prepared a general overview and some of the expanded scope and kind of detail or summary of what's been done. That was also in your packet. If you have any questions about any of those, I guess let us know. Might not be a need to go through them. It was more if they were more public here. But as is with the case usually, this is more of a staff, planning commission, township board tool to use for the future of our land use as it goes in the township. But I will say that the public did speak quite a bit, actually, whether it was at the Lions Field Day last year, whether it was through our community survey that we conducted, and other planning sessions that we've had throughout the last couple of years. We have a lot of good feedback on the document. So in staff's view, it's prepared and ready to be approved. This public hearing is required ahead of adoption, and I don't see any impediments to adopting it. Want to thank the Michigan State Housing Development Authority for the grant of $50,000, which allowed us to contract with Short Elliott Hendrickson. They're a national firm and a good one at that. And we've received a lot of positive comments on this, more from our colleagues and some of the, Supervisor Durant, who's read it thoroughly. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of comments about the thoroughness of the document and about where the Marquette Township is heading from a land use perspective. So be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Otherwise, feel free to conduct your public hearing.
Jason, could you just remind us how many people responded to the survey? It was about 400, was it? Maybe 500?
I believe there's a quick summary.
That's a lot.
Yes, it was a pretty good percentage as far as scientific relevance, if I remember correctly.
If you have it out there.
And while Jason finds that, I will note too on the fact, talking about the total number of people who took it, that it was more than just township residents. There were city residents that took it, other township residents that took it, and I do know that the consultant weighted those responses, so the township resident responses were weighted higher than non-resident responses. So just kind of a note on the survey response total number.
So the master plan survey was conducted from August 1, 2024 to September 30th, 2024, gathering insight from residents to guide future township planning. The survey achieved a completion rate of 47.9% with 558 complete responses and 607 partial responses, totaling 1,165 participants. This robust participation reflects a significant level of community engagement and provides a substantial data set for analysis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was quite a few.
Yeah, and also thanks to the Planning Commission. When you receive the document after it's approved, you'll see that there is an acknowledgements page. So the Township Board obviously will be involved with a resolution of concurrence. But really thanking the Planning Commissioners for all their hard work, and then the Steering Committee too, which was comprised of a significant cross-section of folks for our community. So Chairperson Johnson, Ms. Cody, Commissioner Ferraro, Brad Crimmins, a developer in the township, Mike Conter, Fred Grandchamp, a former CPA, and Megan Hornbogen, an architect. So those are good, good sets of eyes to have on the document, especially with regard to future land use.
Any questions for Jason now? Nope. Nope. Well, let's open up the public hearing then at 6:08. Anyone wishing to come forward can come forward at this time. Let's hope.
Because nobody else is here. As a resident, Lynn Durant, 265 Bishop Woods Road. The public doesn't know the impact of this document, and as a supervisor, I am excited to have it, pardon my voice. I think you guys did an outstanding job, and Jason and Eric did too, just weeding through all of it and the surveys and everything. You can be really proud of this document. I'm excited to have it and to use. I want to have each board member have one there so they can refer to it. Thanks.
Right. Thank you.
I would just like to add that Eric really took the lead on the document. Provided technical support when needed, but Eric was instrumental in getting this to the finish line. So kudos to him.
Several read-throughs.
Okay, well, I don't see any other public here to comment, so We can close the public hearing at 6:10. Anyone further have any comments?
So I have a couple of comments. One, this document will now be used to set the Marquette Township priority goals. Lynn will set that meeting. You certainly are invited to attend that meeting. But that's what we were waiting for to do our current priority goals. The second thing is the Community Day event did help in getting people to fill out the survey, and the team that does Community Day is asking that we give some feedback at that event, whether it's a display board or whatever, with some information. So whatever you guys want to put together, we do have a table for you.
I think survey results would be helpful.
However you want to do it, we'll make, 50 copies, or we'll have them at the table where people register or something. I think it's important to give people feedback when they give feedback to you, so.
Win a master plan raffle.
We could. I have this magazine here. Oriental Trading Company, we could buy junk. But I'm just kidding. But it's always good to give that feedback back, so, and that does have a large audience, so. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Any more comments? I'd like to thank Jason and Eric also for all the time and effort they put into it, because I think it's very well done as well. I think just 245 pages of 73 just shows you how much more is involved with it.
A lot of it's the appendix, but
Well, there was a lot more than the 2021, I remember that.
yeah. Yeah, this is, I think, my third plan overall in year 15, so it's definitely progressed in a good way. And in a way that continues to address the current needs of the community as they occur throughout that time frame of 5 years. So obviously, this one focuses a lot on housing, hence the grants, and then the ability to contract with a national. So a lot of good input in there with regard to housing.
You must have copies of all the previous master plans that have been approved. Does it go back to a certain date, or, I mean, is it like a long time ago, or?
Oh, we've got master plans in the vault dating back to the 78, I want to say, 1978.
So that's about when it started, when they had the law, that you had to start doing it then?
Yep.
Okay.
Zoning came along in the 50s, and master planning was kind of after that, to make sure that zoning was based off of something.
Ever gone through and looked at the beginning ones, just see what they're,
I have.
what did
yeah.
they focus on, back then?
Mostly, they were very data heavy and not as much, not that our world is super philosophical, but now we have much more, I guess, checks and balances and policy adjustments where they're really based on, census data and traffic counts and hard numbers, and that's what dictated. But now I think when you have community surveys and community days, and I don't know, it just, not only are they truly in color, but I think that the document's more colorful as well in what it covers. So, and I think over time, the subject matter that's covered in a master plan along with the law has changed. So, there's just more topics involved too.
Plus, it was quite a different township back then, too.
Right. Yeah, this is more complex because the township's more complex. Not only from a land use standpoint, but socially and otherwise, economically.
Okay, so I move on to B, and then we do the vote then?
Close the public hearing, yep, and then,
I closed it already.
okay.
So, So then move to 6B.
Yep, this is be consideration of the adoption resolution, and if you'd like, I can read that into the record when you'd like.
All right, well, might as well do it now then.
Okay, so the resolution that you would be considering tonight is the Charter Township of Marquette County, Michigan Planning Commission Resolution Number 052726-1, which coincides with today's date. The draft reads, at a regular meeting of the Marquette Township Planning Commission on May 27th, 2026, the following resolution was offered by Commission Member Blank and supported by Commissioner Blank. A resolution adopting the updated Marquette Township Master Plan 2026 through 2030. So those are the 5 years that a master plan covers and then needs to be updated again in 2030. Whereas the Michigan Planning Enabling Act authorizes the Planning Commission to prepare and periodically update a master plan for the use, development, and preservation of all lands in the township, and whereas the Planning Commission prepared an updated master plan and submitted said plan to the Township Board for review and comment, and whereas the Township Board received and reviewed the proposed master plan update prepared by the Planning Commission and authorized the distribution of the master plan to the notice group entities identified by the Michigan, or in the Michigan Planning Enabling Act, and whereas notice was provided to the notice group as provided in the Michigan Planning Enabling Act, and whereas the Planning Commission held a public hearing on May 27, 2026 to consider public comment received on the proposed master plan update and to further review and comment on the master plan, and whereas the Planning Commission finds that the proposed master plan update is desirable, proper, and reasonable, and furthers the use, preservation, and development goals and objectives of the township. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved as follows. 1, the Marquette Township Planning Commission hereby adopts the proposed master plan update, including all the chapters, figures, descriptive matters, maps, tables, and tables contained therein. 2, distribution to notice group pursuant to the MCL. The Planning Commission approves the distribution of the adopted master plan update to the notice group once it's adopted. 3, findings of fact. The Planning Commission has made the foregoing determination based on a review of existing land uses in the township, a review of existing master plan provisions and maps, and input received from the Planning Commission members and the public, as well as the assistance of the township's planning and zoning department staff. The Planning Commission also finds that the amended master plan will accurately reflect and implement the township's goals and objectives for the use, preservation, and the development of lands within the Marquette Charter Township. Effective date, number 4, effective date, repeal the amended master plan shall become effective on the adoption date of this resolution. The prior master plan is hereby repealed upon the updated master plan becoming effective.
Okay, thanks, Jace. So I'm assuming no more questions or comments. We're all good on this? All right, so who wants to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
Move that the Marquette Township Planning Commission approve the resolution adopting the updated Marquette Township Master Plan 2026-2030.
I'll support.
okay. Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Okay, I'm assuming we'll have a roll call vote.
Correct.
Okay. Denny Ferraro,
Yes?
Bethany Cody,
Yes.
Linda Winslow,
Yes.
and Jim Johnson's a yes. Okay, motion approved.
Well, thank you, and
There you go.
congratulations. Now
Yeah.
I can use this for 5 years. Of course, if anything major came up, we can always amend it in the same fashion that we adopted it, so notifications and things like that. I think what staff's excited about now is having a shiny new master plan to tool our zoning ordinance around. And so we'll be moving into that throughout the summer, and we'll be preparing section, not article by article, I would say is the easiest way to do it. But we'll go through and start amending our zoning ordinance and making some proposals to align with this document now. So thank you.
Okay. Unfinished business. I guess I was going to, I don't know if this would be the time for it or not, but now that we're done with this, I kind of want to check with the other commissioners to see if there's anything specific or special they wanted to get on agendas, you know, coming up in the near future. I know, you know, some of them had said something to me about different things, so I'd like to ask everybody at this time what you'd like to do. So if there's anything special you'd like to have on the agendas coming up for in the future here, Dan?
Well, I think one thing that we've been talking about a lot since last summer was to amend the zoning ordinance to give some enhanced protection to natural features, specifically wetlands. And we've had a lot of discussion on this, and Eric's done a lot of work on it. The commission has got a lot of consideration of it, so that's one thing. The other thing is, I think, we wanted, if I'm not mistaken, we wanted to amend the size requirements for tiny homes. I think that's something that has come up, and it's about all I can think of. I'm sure there's a lot of other things. Oh, and then, of course, after we get done with the wetland amendment, right behind it are the roosters and chickens, and, yeah, so.
Private poultry.
Small animal keeping.
Limited animal.
You took Linda's thunder.
Oh, no, I have one more. Nice try.
Yeah, we have
The
a,
short-term rentals.
I have
No.
that on, yeah, we
Yes,
have we have a rolling list of things that we'll definitely get into. So we're kind of waiting to adopt the master plan, and now this is the time to jump into the zoning ordinance and make those changes.
Yeah.
Data centers.
Thought if you heard everybody else, you know, if there would be other things that you haven't
You
thought of
guys have
that.
that.
Yeah, no,
They might
feel
wanna
free,
do,
and there'll be more that come up as we get into it.
Yeah.
Bethany?
Well, I was just thinking, I thought of his, I was thinking of the short-term rentals,
Data
and
centers.
then Linda said data centers, yeah.
Boy, there's been a lot of
Yeah.
stuff going on around the state, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see on Facebook, there's all kinds of posts and
Not just the state.
East,
Pardon?
on
Not
the
just
east
state,
coast.
Nationwide.
nationwide,
Yeah.
yeah. Aaron Brockovich has got an interactive map now.
Yeah, I watched a documentary that I sent to Eric that showed the progressive growth of them, and neighbor comments standing outside talking about them, the effects they've had on their lives with noise, vibration, reduction of wildlife in the area. It's significant. Maybe that would be something we could watch, that documentary. It might be actually a good exercise one of these nights too. Yeah, we're looking forward to doing some more interactive stuff with you guys. But data centers, if that gets into your algorithm, it's all over.
Yeah, now that's all you're gonna do.
It's pretty, you know, that is the hottest button land use topic out there. Whether it's Wisconsin, Michigan, you know, they like those northern climates because they want to keep that building cool. And then, of course, they use a lot of water to do that.
But they're not new, and they already have data centers in our state.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's some
And, yeah,
communities, unfortunately, that are banking their entire future on them.
And some of them are small, but
The hyper.
it's the hyper ones that people, but you should probably worry about all of them to some extent, and we need to have a ordinance that protects our whatever we want, right? For the future.
That we will do.
Okay. Anything else, Beth? No?
Thank you for having the young man get on board so quickly. I think we'll want to follow up with him, get a report about what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on our agenda.
well, he started on Tuesday because of the holiday. But Eric and I had sent letters out previous week to a number of properties, and we've already seen some improvements up on County Road 550, so.
You're picking out as country folk up there on 550.
Trying to keep it real.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, I walk, yeah, just in neighborhoods.
Yeah, if you see anything, you know, Kyle has an email address we can share with you, and we'll link you up.
Okay.
And that's his job for up to, I think, 32 hours a week. So he'll be working mostly, I believe, Monday through Thursday with Fridays off.
Did you want to share that there will be another vehicle in the fleet, Marquette Township fleet?
Yeah, we acquired a Tahoe
So,
from the church.
just so
That's
if you see
currently getting tuned up and ready for us, and some of the customization that the police department did, just reversing some of that, and then getting our decals on it. So that'll be helpful to have a couple vehicles.
That's cool. That he's gonna be driving around then?
It's for,
Either one.
for everyone.
Yeah, it depends where he goes, I guess. If he's, you know, going off-road up on Denny's end of town or Gold Mine Road, then he'll take the Tahoe, but otherwise I think the car will suffice.
Can we get him a T-shirt that says Blank Buster?
It's not very professional.
so we are looking at, again, we are looking at some, I'll call it apparel that actually identifies people, that they are Marquette Township, whatever.
And all joking aside, that is, for
Yeah.
somebody to be out in the field, that is important.
Yeah,
Identification, beyond just being in the car, or beyond just a small ID, which is also required per our ordinance, that they be identified with an ID. But I think
A jacket,
decals on
vest.
clothes or something, yep. It's-
High-vis
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah, I think John, I think John Kangas is looking at that, so you might want to.
Yep, he's spoken to staff about it.
Okay, well, great. We're going to speak to the board about that option too, so,
Great.
yeah.
Anything else you have, Linda, for agenda items? in the
No,
future?
not yet.
Okay.
I'll bring it back when we do our goals though, right?
I guess the only thing I'm interested in, right, not the only thing, but one thing we could talk about would be the short-term rentals, you know, like we talked about before. I think that's something kind of important to deal with. And the zoning changes. Yeah, but they're already coming, so. Okay, correspondence, 8A Planning and Zoning Department update, May 20th, 2026. I like the written stuff that you put in there this time.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'll start putting that in the packet because unrequired, well, I've been asked, and I definitely do what I'm asked to do here, to provide an update to the Township Board at their second meeting of the month. So I'll just include that, which I transmit to them, and include it in your packet under correspondence. That should keep you apprised of our general activities. And it can suffice for item 9C.
And yeah, we don't need to read through it bullet by bullet, but on the second page of that, you'll see a list of addresses that were sent letters. Most on 550, there are a couple in Trowbridge, one on Northwoods. But Kyle was out today in the vehicle driving around Trowbridge taking photos. So we did a kind of canvas style, kind of dragnet up 550. Jason and I did before Kyle was on board, and that's what we came up with. And talking about it with him, it seems like he's gonna do that. We're asking him to do that in Trowbridge as well. So it's gonna probably get ramped up even more here, so.
Yeah, I think having a position where it's consistently
Dedicated.
it's really gonna help clean up the community. And remember, and if you speak to anybody out and about in public, that this was something that respondents to the survey were pretty keen on, so, this is us being reactive to that, so kudos to the board and to the planning commission. The whole process of the master plan brought forth or up to the surface some of those other detailed comments that that people want to see in the community. So, in my opinion, we're being responsive to the needs of the community by having Kyle with us. And yes, it's not only, just to add on to what Eric said, not only property conditions, but there's some structures up on 550 that will be coming down as well, are prescribed to anyway, that are already halfway
Falling
down.
apart,
They
yeah.
just need to go all the way down.
So Jason, if people ask us, do you know the ordinance number that we can refer them to?
It's the Marquette Township Property Maintenance and Blight Ordinance,
I think-
040225-1.
0402.
25-1.
Which is just the date it was.
The most important thing is the Marquette Township Property Maintenance and Blight Ordinance.
We do have copies available here to pass out to anybody that wants them, as well as it's available online to view, so.
So could you put one in all of our,
Yep,
and maybe maybe the board could have a copy of that?
sure.
Do you want it to be part of the packet, your next packet or something?
Yeah, perfect.
Is there a link on the webpage for that?
There is, admittedly, the webpage is to find specific things, a little tough to navigate, but it is on there. Under, if you go to planning and zoning, other ordinances, it's like the last one on that list.
Thank you.
Yep.
8B zoning board of appeals, dimensional variance notification.
Yep, we received the application for a larger accessory structure on Brickyard. I would say Brickyard North, so north of the roundabout and west and north of the Meyer gas station. That's just in there to let you know there'll be a public hearing on that. So essentially, we denied the application because it exceeded the amount of square footage allowable on a property with more than 3 acres. So the zoning board of appeals will be hearing the variance request of the applicant, which has the ability to appeal our decision and request a dimensional variance.
I remember something else with that property from before, I don't know if it was a variance or what else there was.
They have an approved short-term rental.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that the same property?
Yep.
Okay.
That's not the only one on Brickyard. I think there's one other approved by the PC short-term rental, and I think there's also an owner-occupied short-term rental. One where the owner stays on the property while the renter is there, so we don't regulate it in any shape or form.
Right, if you rent out a room, we would consider that, okay, you live there, it's obviously safe to live there. Our short-term rental review and, permit requirement comes when it's in the entire home, to ensure that it's safe and adequate parking and township business license.
Does everybody on that appeals board know that, was there an opening, any other opening on there? Seemed like last one we had, there was somebody short on there.
I believe we have a quorum.
We had to use an alternate, I think, last time.
I think we have 4. I don't know that, maybe we're short. I thought we had a full ZBA.
The alternate stuff.
'Cause we have Jim, Mr. Becker, we have, Mr. Kitta, we have Jim Johnson, so that's 3, and then we have
Olson.
Mr. Olson,
Who's the new member?
who's the new member. And then Mr. Becker.
Who was from Huron Woods, or some guy from Huron Woods up on it also?
Brent Graves was not reappointed.
Oh. Okay. Nine A, Township Board Report. Jason or no, Linda, sorry.
Who are you going to give it to? The Township Board met on Wednesday, May 20th. The agenda was short. We had a couple reports from different departments. Our attorney gave his report. They did waive the alcohol waiver for Lions Field on Community Day, Saturday, August 1st. That was really it. There wasn't a lot. But we approved for all the bills to be paid, so that's always good. Any questions?
Is there gonna be any kind of a survey form for that day also? Seems like it'd be a good day to ask people questions about anything.
Jason, do we have to do a survey for the Parks and Rec report or whatever?
Oh, the plan, we could. We don't have to. It's important that we get public input, but that would certainly be a great day to do some kind of, and as a rec committee member,
Yeah, that might be
might be able to
great.
wear a couple hats that day.
Yeah, and maybe that's where the master plan display could be.
Sure.
And we could just have a box where they put the survey in the box, right? Or are you gonna do it electronically?
Or just take comments and document them. Yeah, I'm not sure. We haven't,
Well,
the planning commission will, or the rec committee report's coming up. We'll next meet in June. And that would be, kind of be the kickoff for the rec plan update.
yeah, and that's plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you decide. I think electronic surveys you have to pay for unless they're less questions or something.
Do you find out when it is?
Is there a date for the rec committee, next rec committee meeting? Yeah.
June 16th
June 6th.
at 5:30.
Thank you.
Anything more? One? Any rec committee report?
Just that, the rec committee had a suggestion, and I think it was probably already discussed, but ordering some sound deadening panels for the Lions Field pickleball court. Township board did approve that. They were ordered, they were shipped, they were damaged upon shipment, or a portion of them was, so the whole order had to go back. 270 linear feet by 9 feet tall. So we're still awaiting delivery of those, but those should be up and operable sometime yet. We're hoping in June.
Any more complaints from the neighbor?
Not that I'm aware of, but I sometimes don't take those calls. They go straight to Manager Kingus, and I haven't heard of anything recently. And then also the rec committee will be taking on and starting to contemplate the recreation plan update. And that is to stay current with the DNR so that we have a plan on file with them that allows us to secure grant funding through the Natural Resources Trust Fund or the Recreational Passport or the waterfront, lakeshore types of properties. So yeah, that's important, and we'll kick that off in June as well.
Okay. 9C, planning and zoning report.
I guess I'll defer to my planning and zoning department update on on planning commission meetings where that's included in your agenda. And of course, anytime happy to answer, any questions you might have, emails, phone calls.
It looked like Culver's was open for business tonight. It was all.
They were open for business, I believe, on Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wonder how that happened, actually.
I never thought they'd get that done in time.
Well, I was told that they weren't able to open until after the holiday on Tuesday, yesterday, because the county building codes department is short on inspection staff. And so that they were relying on the state inspector. So I don't know if the state inspector came out on a Sunday or if they just opened. But from our perspective, from the zoning perspective, it was a pretty minor project. They added a drive-through lane, they did some facade improvements, and then they relocated their dumpster enclosure to the south of the property. From a building codes department, it was probably much more involved because they did some interior renovations too, and the fire department reviewed those. But that, we approved that last fall.
Okay. Any announcements? Any more public comment?
They did talk about that, Jason, at the last commission meeting, county commission meeting. The mechanical and HVAC part of the inspections, they don't have anybody that wants the job. That's why they had to farm it out to the state. They were afraid to actually give it to them for fear that they wouldn't get it back. And there's only one fella that lives in Escanaba that has the whole UP to do. So I don't know what they ended up doing, but that's just recent. So they were kind of putting out feelers and talking to the millwrights and finding out, you know, if anybody's interested, or because they can make more privately than they can through the county. So there's just no employees. That's why they had to do it. But I think there's either a 6-month trial, or they can sign up for 6 months to have the state do it, or get it back in 6 months. They can do something so that if somebody does come forward, they can go back to us doing it ourselves. Solid waste tipping fees are going up, which means your garbage bill's gonna go up. Usually when Lenny does the budget, he kind of budgets, because the solid waste year is July 1st. If they're gonna do an increase, it's usually July 1st. So Lenny puts in an increase to cover the year, and then a little bit extra for the second 6 months, just in case they do a huge increase. So I think he said, he hasn't gotten the numbers back to me yet, but he put in like $4 or $5 increase. Well, it's 11, so that's gonna be pretty substantial on the bills. So I asked him when he thought he would increase that. They did pass it in their meeting last week. No discussion, no nothing. It was an agenda item. They said, well, we need to raise tipping fees. Okay, here's a motion. Nobody argued, nobody questioned what it was for. It was just pretty pathetic. But anyway, that's gonna happen. So your bills will go up, maybe July or August, I'm not sure. However, he's working out the formula. Fire department millage, there'll be something on the ballot in August it's kind of a long story if I can make it short. It's been suggested by the fire department that we have 24-hour service. Part of that is because the people who are responding for EMS right now are working full-time jobs. So they're getting burned out. They're totally burned out. You know, if they get a call for a lift assist or something important, more important, like 2, 3 in the morning, and then by the time they do that and do the paperwork, they can't even go back to bed because they gotta go to work. So the fire chief asked if we'd consider that. We actually formed a committee and tried to figure out what it would cost, how would we staff it, what would the hours be, and they've got it pretty much worked out. So the premise is we want to try putting it on the ballot in August, asking if they would accept, the public would accept a millage for a year to see if this would work. You know, if we can't hire anybody, then obviously it's not going to work. Then if it does work and we can staff it and it can be 24 hours, we would increase the fire department millage, the fire department assessment, pardon me. The Public Act 33 funds the fire department, which is totally separate from a millage. It's totally different. So we're going to try it. They have started, I don't know if they're actually hiring yet, but they have started interviewing. They have people who are around the county that would like to do that. So the idea is to accept the shifts that people are willing to work. So if they're already working 410s at their full-time job, maybe they'd be willing to work Friday and Saturday, and we can put some bunks up across the street, and maybe do an 8 or a 12 or 24-hour shift, depending on what's people available. So it's kind of, like Jason would say, very forward-thinking. That's kind of what Marquette Township's known for, I think. But they're excited to see if this is going to work, because the calls are increasing. And if we're not down on Ontario, we're, in Harvey, or we're not really so much in Negaunee, but quite a few calls for the city to back them up. So that's kind of the plan so far, is to have it on the August ballot. The wording's been done, but there was a request at our last meeting to maybe tweak that a little bit, so Roger's working on that to fix the ballot language. It'll bring in about, I think it's a mill, exactly, right? 380,000 for the year, and that's about what it would take to cover the staffing for the whole year, for 24 hours. So stay tuned on that.
Maybe that'll help reduce the insurance rates.
Yeah, he said
No.
he couldn't figure out why that went up. So it's maybe you or your
Pretty
neighbor.
underhanded, if you ask me, but
I don't
What
know.
happened? So tell me what happened.
The ISO rating didn't change, but for some reason, his insurance company said that we were like, not negligent, what was the word?
they said the hydrant's further away now than it was last year.
No.
Yeah, there's nothing any
And
different.
so they changed the rating from 4 to 4Y or something. And the agent said there are a lot of people in Marquette Township whose rates went up a lot because of that, and we're pretty upset, so.
I don't get it. He
I
said the
guess-
ISO hasn't changed in like 12 years or something. We've been pretty consistent.
You know,
It's
It
the
wasn't just
insurance
a-
companies that change.
it wasn't just a
Yeah.
little bit, it was like 30% that it went
So
up.
you said you were
blaming it
changing insurance company.
No. All the other ones were way more.
Something's not right with that.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. So Dan just got back, I can check with him and see what he knows, in more detail, because he texted back when he was on vacation.
Yeah.
But the
We even send them a letter and ask them why they did this. I think it's detrimental to the township and the residents, obviously.
Yeah. I'll check on that.
It was auto
See if
owners.
I can find out. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you.
Mine
wanted to
was
share
anyway,
that.
but I don't know if that was the only company doing it, or if they're just finding a way to make more money, or,
Paid for all
assuming.
the flooding in Florida or wherever, right? Wisconsin. Anyway, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'll check on that for you. I had another fire, I thought. No, maybe not. I was gonna mention the sound panels. Yeah, they are on reorder, so they should be coming back. We have a new, you probably saw in the paper, county commission representative that took Steve Adamini's place, Fred Benzie. And he came to the board meeting last week and introduced himself. I introduced myself to him at the county meeting his first meeting he attended 2 weeks ago. Asked him to come maybe once a month or as much as he thought he could, so he said he would, so he showed up Wednesday. And he will be on the ballot also in August for that seat, because it was an appointment when Steve retired. So that's effective through the end of the year. And then whoever wins the ballot in November will be official 1st of January. So Fred Benzie's on the ballot, Jenna Smith from the city, Fred lives in the city too, and Randy Urtari. And then Carl Newmanen is I don't know what number district he's in, but he's got Cody Mayer running against him for that seat.
I think he's in one.
Yeah. is it?
I feel like it's one.
So we have a city commissioner, a commissioner who lives in the city representing the township, because just a little bit of part of the city down by Econo and a little bit of Powell Township. I don't know how far, halfway up maybe, or a little bit, is this district. So it's primarily the city, I'm sorry, primarily the township, but it's a city. hopefully that'll work out okay to represent us. Otherwise, if Randy gets in, of course, he's a township resident. And if Jenna gets in, she's a city resident. But they would be township rep for us. Housing, I don't know if you want to talk about housing. I'm not going to go into a big story, but I'm on the Housing Now committee because the township contributed to the total market analysis a few years ago. So that allowed me to be on that committee. And then I'm on a subcommittee from government side. And we had a meeting and they decided they were going to create a form that had some different kind of data in it. And I said, why don't we put the specs of each municipality in for the developers and then put it in a database so that, you know, the Mitches from Wisconsin type developers come up and they can say, okay, what do I have to do in Marquette Township? What do I have to do in Ishpeming? What do I do in Marquette City? And they can just flip through the page if it's in a book or online or whatever and say, okay, this is what you have to follow. This is what you need. These are the documents and public hearings and no public hearings, you know. So they're going to create it. So I was pretty happy. I'm hoping, you know, commissions can use it and staff. I think that'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to give you a heads up on that. The DDA did decide to pay for part of the Commerce Drive repairs. It was a little bit of a discussion, but we got legal approval too to do it because it is in the DDA, even though it's not part of our normal priorities. It's still for the betterment of the downtown development area. And the road commission had already, I think that they're gonna start that. You can see the cones. I think I thought they were gonna do it in June or July, but they're supposed to be doing that part in front of the fire department. So hopefully we might have a significant amount of this taken care of. I'm kind of thinking all of it, but I don't want to say that out loud. From at least Werner down partway. So we'll see, as much as the funds hold out. So that's kind of exciting. We ordered a ladder truck, so township will have a new fire ladder truck. Forestville is also going to get paved. When the township did the millage a bunch of years ago, that got missed for some reason, and our trustee Marks reminded us that it wasn't done. So we took $150,000 and we set it aside and earmarked it for repairing that part of the road from Commerce or Wright Street up to Huron Woods, because it never did get done. So it's going to get done this year. It took that long to go through road commission. And then just the library drop box, in case you saw that out there or didn't see it. You don't have to go over to the mall anymore. It's right here. Nice and easy. I think that's it. That's all I got. Thanks.
Thanks, Lynn. Any more public comment? Doesn't look like it, so we'll get any additional comments from planning commissioners. Linda? Bethany?
None.
Denny?
Just a point of information I heard when the technician from Highline came to dig the trench to put the fiber optic into my place up on Eagle. And he was telling me that the county is not allowing them to bore under Buck Row between Eagle's Nest and the bridge, the Little Garland. It's a county road, but they're refusing permission. So those people who are also township residents, Marquette Township residents, even some of the other ones on the other side of the river are still Marquette Township residents. They can't get the Wi-Fi. Now, they could, if they wanted telephone poles put up on their property. Apparently, they don't want to do that, so. But I just thought it was odd. It's just a point of information. You might hear about it.
Okay. Anything else? I just had a couple questions, Jace or Eric, on the Heritage Trail project now, with that old wooden fence that's, in the back of their properties. Is that gonna be replaced? Was that the businesses that put that fence up, or was it, township that put it up, or do
Oh,
they have to
behind
replace? What's that?
Behind Goodwill?
Yeah,
That's a good question, but I did notice that when I was making a donation there last week. The new development is required to put up a fence as part of the site plan, along with some plantings, so that should get updated all along here.
okay. So I assume they're gonna tear it down and put a new one up there.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. And I was talking to one of the guys that used to work for the County Road Commission, and he was talking about chip seal, because we're talking about 492, about how bad it is after that chip seal and out here, and he said that chip seal is like not good, it doesn't last very long. And he said that they're doing that now because it was so much cheaper, because they got rid of the batch plant a few years ago. And the price of the asphalt doubled since then. So I just kind of wondered if that was true, and why they got rid of the batch plant, or, 'cause he made it sound like the guy got fired because he got rid of the batch plant back then. Do you know anything about it, or?
Don't know anything about that. I know that, based on a Paisley rating, chip seal is one of the solutions that is on the cheaper end and may extend or raise the Paisley rating number for a shorter amount of time, which extends the life of the road until such time when you need much more than chip seal, perhaps a mill and overlay or something like that. But that would be a question for the road commission. Yeah, I mean, we can check with them. But yeah, not sure about the batch plant, and you look at MDOT and the road commission and their funding sources and mechanisms, they've just dwindled since I first started in my career, and now they're doing more with less, and a lot of times they're probably farming some of that stuff out to other subcontractors.
Yep.
And as a result, they're gonna pay even more to do so if they're not doing it in-house, so.
Yep, that's what he said happened.
Mhm.
He said $5 a ton to $10 a ton, which he said double the price of
That's
everything
not much, right?
from Payne and Dolan, so it's too bad. And okay, that's all I have. So I guess nothing else, meeting adjourned at 6:57.